Hi, what's a membrane? A membrane is a selective barrier. It allows something to pass through, but stop others. Such things may be molecules, ions, or other small particles. The membranes can be classified according to the type of material or depending on the pore size. Today we are going to talk about lipid membrane. Itself, it has amazing structure and signal abilities, but to stick to very basic, it is made of a phospholipid layers. The head is polar and the tail part is no polar. Some molecules have no problem going through the cell membrane, and they'll go through the phospholipid layer. Very small no-polar molecules fit in this category and are agreed, like some gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide for example. This is known as simple diffusion. Also, it doesn't take any energy to form these molecules in or out, so this is known as passive transport. Simple diffusion moves with the flow, meaning it moves with the concentration gradient. Molecules move from a high concentration to a low concentration. So, when you hear someone saying it's going with the concentration gradient, then that's what that means. They're going from high concentration molecules to low concentration molecules.
Okay, remember when we say that the membrane has amazing structure, it's because we haven't mentioned about proteins in the membrane, and some of them are transport proteins. These transport proteins have light channels, some of these change the shape to get items across, and some of them open and close based on a stimulus of some kind. It helps with molecules that may be switched across the membrane or their own, or molecules that are polar and therefore need the help of a transport proteins. This is known as facilitated diffusion. It's still diffusion and it still moves with the concentration gradient of high to low. It doesn't require energy, so it is a type of passive transport. It's just that the proteins are facilitating or helping things pass. Target ions often require a protein channel to pass through. Glucose needs the help of a transport protein to pass through. In osmosis, for water to travel at a fast rate across the membrane, it passes through protein channels called aquaporins. These are all examples of facilitated diffusion, which is a type of passive transport and moves with the concentration gradient of high to low concentration.
Okay, but what's happen if the transportation requires energy? That means that the flow it is not going with the concentration gradient. Movement of molecules from low to high concentration takes energy because that is against the flow, typically ATP energy. Reminder that ATP adenosine triphosphate it has three phosphates. When the bond for the last phosphate is broken, it releases a great amount of energy. ATP can power active transport to force those molecules to go against their concentration gradient. And on a way it can do that is actually energizing the transport protein itself. A great example it is the sodium potassium pump. There are other types of active transport, but in this case do not interest us because these are for big molecules and we are going to talk about gas permeation. Then we are talking about small molecules.
Now, we are going to watch some industrial applications where gas separation is very important, also known as gas permeation through the membrane. For example, separation of carbon dioxide from combustion gas for reuse. refinery, hydrogen recovery, separation of hydrogen sulfide from acid gas, among other samples. Okay guys, this is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment.